After Rigathi Gachagua was attacked in Limuru by sponsored goons, probably sponsored by the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, Rigathi Gachagua decided to go into political hibernation. Since then, Rigathi Gachagua has been lying very low. Maybe this is a political strategy to confuse the enemy. So yesterday, Rigathi Gachagua came out of his political hibernation and fired lesser-guided missiles towards William Samoei Arap Ruto.
An election is as credible as a process. Kriegler report walisema the Electoral Commission must be in place 3 years before the election. Sasa tumebaki mwaka 2.5. Hakuna IEBC. And people can read mischief. Kwa nini IEBC hapana weko? So we are calling for the constitution of IEBC urgently and as of yesterday. Ndio waanze kupanga mikakati ya uchaguzi, so that the process can be as credible as the expected outcome. Na hiyo Wakenya wakiuliza si ati wamefanya makosa.
Meanwhile, Professor Kithure Kindiki has admitted that he was appointed without an approval from the IEBC, and this, in all sense, is contrary to the provisions of the Constitution.
Kuna mambo kidogo ya IEBC imesemwa. And I just want to urge that the reason that there is no IEBC at the moment is because some Kenyans went to court and filed an injunction. And there is an injunction against the establishment of the recruitment panel that is supposed now to recruit IEBC commissioners. So we are asking the parties that have taken this matter to court to try and reach an out-of-court settlement so that we can unblock that process and complete the reconstitution of the IEBC as soon as possible. This is a country governed by law. I have seen there are some who are blaming the government. Now, when there's an injunction, the government is not able to do anything. So we request those who filed those cases to go and reach an out-of-court settlement so that the injunction is lifted and we can move towards reconstituting an IEBC so that the people of Kenya can have political stability and the by-elections that are pending can be concluded as soon as possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to request you to like this video, to subscribe to this channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you can be notified in the event I upload fresh and informative content such as this. Kindiki says that the government cannot do anything when there is an injunction from the court. I do agree with that, but with William Ruto in office, it is hard to believe that the so-called injunctions that are in court have not been sponsored by the government through proxies. The biggest revelation that Professor Kindiki has made known to the public is that because the IEBC had not been constituted when he was appointed as deputy president, it actually means that his ascension to office as the second most powerful person in the country was not approved by IEBC as is constitutionally required. I find it very hard to believe what Professor Kindiki is saying because, first of all, this is a gentleman who was appointed to office by the president. He was not elected, and for that reason, it is very hard for him to speak his mind. Remember, he's a lawyer. I would expect a lawyer to be very bold in promoting the Constitution and the rule of law. But Kindiki himself is entertaining the idea that the so-called injunctions that are in court are what have prevented the government of William Ruto from constituting the IEBC. Remember, this government is known to disobey court orders. The deployment of Kenya police to Haiti had been stalled by the courts. But look what happened. The president did not listen. William Ruto went ahead to deploy police officers to Haiti, contrary to the injunction of the court. So it's actually a joke of small children for a government official to stand up before and claim that it is the court that has prevented the president from appointing an IEBC. On the flip side, I find it very easy to agree with what Rigathi Gachagua is saying because remember, this is somebody who now has his freedom. This is somebody who is not tied to the executive way of thinking that Ruto and Kindiki are now subjecting the country to. Rigathi Gachagua has reminded us of an important historical commission officially referred to as the Independent Review Commission. This commission was established in 2008 to review the violence and malice and treacherous activities that had occurred in 2007 that emanated from the presidential elections. Now, Rigathi Gachagua reminds us that this report, commonly known as the Kriegler report, had recommended that the IEBC, or rather the electoral body, should be constituted at least 3 years to the general elections. But now, we are just 2.5 years to the general elections and there is no electoral commission in place. And this is the same kind of problem that even Supreme Court Justice Isaac Lenaola had blasted the president for. A sovereign country with an army, with the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army. A sovereign country such as Kenya, with all those, cannot pretend that it cannot constitute its electoral commission on the basis of a few individuals whom probably the government itself has sponsored through proxies to sponsor cases in court and thus delay the constitution of the electoral commission. It cannot be. I refuse to believe that this is the reason as to why the government still has not been able to constitute the IEBC. At the end of the day, guys, this is just but my opinion. Do let me know your thoughts and ideas in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more informative content such as this.